Doing the Big Access podcast again, Jeff.
Excellent.
Yeah. I miss Jordan. I miss my producer. I'm here at our Phoenix ProConnect event, which is a series of events that we do all over the country where it doubles as a partner appreciation event and also as an education event. And so I'm really excited about having you guys here to show off everything and how you guys integrate with PDK. You guys have a course later today that you're going to talk to a bunch of different dealers. We've got a course going on right now. In fact, you can probably see it on the TV behind me. They're doing some hands-on PDK training. So excited to learn a little bit more about MyDoorView. But thanks a ton for taking the time to
appreciate it.
To come over here all the way out to Phoenix and then have a chance to talk with us.
Yeah, worthwhile trip.
Yeah, it should be really good. So those of you listening, those of you watching, I'm sorry, the quality's probably not going to be as good as it normally is when it's in the studio. Jordan, our producer, he's really good at what he does, and he's not here today. It's just me running a camera and running some mics, and it's just going to be what it is. But we've got Jeff here, so Jeff's going to make it all better. Anyways, Jeff, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself? You've been on the podcast a few times, actually.
Yeah, a while back, a little while back. Yeah, so I'm Jeff Santeramo with MyDoorView. We are an integration partner with PDK, video telephone entry.
Yeah. So in today's episode, we're actually going to be talking a lot about video intercom systems and why they're important, and specifically who MyDoorView is and how they integrate with PDK. But Jeff, why don't you kind of kick things off by telling us a little bit about why are video intercoms important for an end user?
Well, I think in terms of just another layer of security, right? It provides the end user, the resident or commercial user, just that layer of security, especially with the video piece. They can see who's there, talk to that person, and see what they want. If it's a friend, obviously they're going to know them. But if it's not, why are you calling me? Who are you? Back in the day on old school entry systems for guests, it was door panels, buzzers on the wall, that kind of thing, and you never knew who you were letting in. I'm sure you remember in the old movies that somebody did hit all the buttons and somebody would open it.
Oh, somebody would, right?
So it's we've come a lot technology-wise, a lot further, along since then. Mm-hmm. But obviously, but the important piece of for the video entry system is just that extra layer of security for the occupant.
That's awesome. Do you find that video intercom is more common in like a multi-tenant space, or is it also utilized a lot in a commercial atmosphere? Where do you usually find it that you guys have your system installed most of the time?
Sure, I would say most of what we do, I'd say probably 70% of our business is multifamily, but the remaining 30 is broken up with commercial. We have it in law firms. We have it at loading docks. We have it at schools. We have it even at single-family homes. At some, like an estate style setup where they have, that vehicle gate in front of your house. Yeah. So one day I hope to have that. But,
there you go. That's awesome. So, I like the multi-tenant example. It's mostly where an intercom is, but it does, serve its purpose in the commercial space. But with a tenants, it helps to deliver that security of being able to say, okay, this is, somebody who is actually here for me. It is a delivery. It is, somebody who I know, whatever type of situation it is there. So it's very beneficial for the end user. But how is it also beneficial for the dealer as well, who's out there doing the installations?
Well, the dealer, we try to be very competitive price-wise with our competition. We try to keep the prices low for the hardware and for the monthly service. We bill the dealer, they mark it up, they bill their customer. So that's that's to me a big thing, because there's competitors of ours out there. I'm not going to name names, but I've heard horror stories that the dealer brings them a deal, they cut the dealer out, and then they say, "Hey, can you install this for me?" Yeah, so they've taken the RMR away from them. They've taken, they still make money because I guess they're kind of installing it and they're making money on the sale, but it's still not. It doesn't give you a good feeling.
It's not really a way to help the partner to build their business, right?
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. And that's what you guys are about. That's what we're about. We want our integrators to be in the recurring revenue deal. You know? We won't have it any other way. We don't take people on directly, even though some people do try. We always refer them to an integration partner of ours. And so in terms of that relationship, it's important to us to maintain that relationship. And we also, what we try to do is lessen the learning curve, right? I was a technician for a long time, for many years. Sold many telephone entries, many access control systems, fire alarm. One thing that I hated over anything was having to call tech support and wait. Oh, somebody will call you back in 3 hours. Or you got to wait on hold for 3 hours. Or somebody's going to, that kind of thing. We're not about that.
Which is good, because there's not a more stressful situation than when you're a tech out on a job site and suddenly something's not working. Somebody's looking over your shoulder going, did I choose the right dealer?
Right.
Does this guy actually know what he's doing? Or is this something that he just said, I can install this, and doesn't know what he's doing, right? That's a stressful situation. So being able to have really good tech support instantly is very important.
Right. And as a technician, that's one thing I didn't want to learn a new system. Whenever the company that I was working for would say, hey, we just rolled out a new access system, a new firewall, I'm like, great, now I got to learn something else. And now I have to train the customer on something that I really don't know. So that's the other thing that we do, is we take that training. Because all the integrator has to do with our system is pull the cable, mount it on the wall, power it up, and put in an 8-digit code, and they're done. Right?
That's pretty simple.
It doesn't get any simpler than that, I don't think.
No.
So if there's something you could tell me that's simpler, let me know. But even from that perspective, from that point on, we will take care of the training. We tell the integrator, use this calendar link, have them set up an appointment, and we'll take care of the training for you. You don't even have to take care of that. You're welcome to be on the call with us, but we're going to train your property manager, and you're not going to worry about it.
Yeah.
So that's how we like to handle everything. This way, we know they're comfortable in using the system. The integrator can go on and keep going and onto his next project without having to look back and worry about it.
That's way cool. I mean, that's a lot of really cool competitive advantage to installing MyDoorView. Ultimately, how did you guys get started, and why did you decide to enter into the multifamily space?
Back in 2012, I'll try to keep the story short because I can get long-winded sometimes. But back in 2012. I was running a project for a company that I worked for, and it was multifamily. It was 300 units. We did every bit of low voltage in there, from voice and video in the units to fire alarm, access control, CCTV. Every bit of low voltage we did. So it was a year and a half long project, and I got to know, the team there. And the owner's rep had come to me and he says, the boss wants to see video. I'm like, what do you mean? And he says, well, I think when people come into the building, and I said, we can put in there was nothing like this at the time. It was just telephone entry or cameras. There was nothing combined. So I said, well, I'm thinking, okay, we could put a channel modulator and in there and send it up to channel 33 or whatever. Yeah. And he's like, no, he wants it on their phone. I'm like, oh, okay. Now, at this point in my life, I had only had a smartphone for maybe a year.
Okay. Yeah.
So I'm like, I think we can make it work. So I did a bunch of research. I couldn't find anything. And I was looking around. I must have been making phone calls for about a week. And one guy that I spoke to in New Jersey just rubbed me the wrong way. And he goes, what you want to do, you can't do. It doesn't exist. You can't make it happen. It's impossible. It's got to be a way to make it work.
Yeah.
And so I ended up having that epiphany moment where I thought, can I launch an app with an incoming phone call? Right? So I called a developer I knew, and he's still a developer today. And I said, hey, Rob, can we do this? And he says, I think so. Let me check it out. I'll call you back. But a week later, he calls you back. He's like, yeah, I just baited it. It works. We could do it. I was like, cool. So that was kind of the very beginnings of MyDoorView. So basically what we did there was take an IP camera, IP address, and when the call came in, we launched our app, picked up that IP address, and displayed the video.
There you go.
And that was on, the very first one was on an 1835. That property is still our customer today and still using that same 1835 that we installed, that many years ago.
That is cool.
Yeah, so over time we evolved, right? So we had to keep up with the market. So in 2015, we got kicked in the teeth by Butterfly. We were at 20, we really came to market 2013, 2014. And everybody loved it. We had a lot of traction because we were the only ones doing video from a telephone entry.
Yeah.
And plus, with it being a code requirement in Massachusetts, it was big there.
For sure.
So all of a sudden, we got, my partner calls me up and he says, "What's this butterfly thing?" And I'm like, "I have no idea. What are you talking about?" And all of a sudden, they come out with this sleek, sexy panel and all these features. And, here we are, we're just sending video. So obviously we had to up our game. We did. And we came out with our panel, came to market with it in 2019, been going strong ever since then. We now have the QR code, which is cool. Yeah, so that's awesome. I love it.
I think that's a big time future of all this for multifamily. How have you seen the QR code response been?
It's been good. It's been really good. Yeah, we have I would say 70 properties right now.
Okay.
With our QR code, and that's multifamily, commercial. The big thing that really sets us apart from the Butterflies of the world and all those other guys, we make phone calls, and we always have from the very beginning of our existence. And we kept that technology with it. We could have switched over when we did our panel. We looked at push notifications, but the one thing that I don't like about push notifications is that they can be delayed. Mm-hmm. They can even get lost.
Yeah.
So if I get a push notification for my, if I live in an apartment building, I'm getting a pizza. That push notification gets delayed 20, 30 seconds or never comes or whatever, and it could be just a latency thing. It doesn't happen all the time. But with our system, it's a phone call. You get that call in real time. If it's ringing on my panel, it's ringing on your phone. So that's the big difference of what really sets us apart from the competition. And we do that with the panel and the QR code.
That's awesome. Yeah, did you hear that? If you don't want cold pizza, install MyDoorView. That's right. So let's talk a little bit about the integration that you have with PDK. So you guys have a fantastic platform. A lot of people love it. But you guys also integrate with PDK as well. How did that come about, and what does the integration look like?
So that came about probably, I would say 3-4 years ago for the very first time with the API 1.0. So with that, we were very limited on what we could do because we could only pull in, we weren't able to get a phone number from your database. We could only get an email. Yeah. So it really didn't really strike a lot of people to use it. We only had a couple of accounts with it. Didn't really do too much. But now with 2.0, it's a game changer. Mm-hmm. So the API basically it literally takes 5 minutes to set up. In your system, you turn on the tile on the account. It gives you the credential information. You copy and paste those 2 lines into MyDoorView, and we're done. Then basically, it's just settings after that. Now the 2 clouds are talking, and we're pulling in that information. Yeah. Basically, it gives a drop down for everything, so you can select the cloud node ID, you can select any groups, the door trigger. So, and that's the thing too. We trigger the PDK relay. So when you install our panel, you just got to get a Cat 6 to it, and you're done. There's no extra cabling. I'm a big fan of extra cable, so run more wire just in case. But yeah, it's literally the integration takes 5 minutes.
That's awesome.
Yeah, which I'm going to demo here today.
You are. I'm really excited to be able to see that. I'm going to sit in on your class and be able to really get a good hands-on experience with it. Get to see it in person. Fantastic. So that's awesome. If any of you guys want to see this as well, reach out to us here at PDK. We'd be happy to set up a dual demo where we can go ahead and show you what that integration looks like, and you can learn a little bit more about MyDoorView. But Jeff, thanks a ton for taking the time to come over here, man. Yeah, man. Love working with you.
Yeah, same here.
I've loved our relationship over the years. It's been great. But for those of you who have not already done so, be sure to subscribe to this podcast, give it a 5-star rating, and we will talk to you next time.